Welcome back to the Two Pipes Podcast. This is your host Gareth.
And your co-host Garth.
Yay!
We are back, baby.
Live from West Coast Radio.
Radio West Coast 92.3 on your FM dial.
So on this episode, we'll play you our experience that we have at the radio. We have a live recording that we're able to share with you. We leave the music in there so you can experience some of the joyful tunes that we got to listen to while we were there.
Enjoy! Yay!
That's the sweetest thing. The sweetest thing is being on Radio West Coast at the moment. And I told you, Garth and Gareth in the building. We're just going to talk about stuff. You want to join in the conversation? Please do. The number 064-773-0660. And if you are tuned in, you are definitely in the right place. This is Radio West Coast 92.3 FM. I'm going to play you something. It makes you say, local is lekker. Making it Rick on 92.3 FM, 10 minutes past 8 o'clock. And keep it locked. If you want to have a word, you want something to say, you want to ask Garth and Gareth a question, 064-773-0660 is the number.
We make it better. Yes, they all know us. And the joy is the full. I'm gonna build my own club. You know what? I can't wait. Make it up. I got that ooh girl, girl, we gon' smoke that joint. Yeah, I got that movie you like. Girl, tonight it's about you and I got that chin. I made your favorite spaghetti. Girl, I just hope you're ready. Cause tonight it's about you and I. Oh, I can't wait for you to come back. So that we can chill till the sunrise. Oh, I can't wait for you to come back. So that we can chill till the sunrise. Yeah, I hail from the land of the hopeless. Good hope, but be careful how you approach it. YGN Wi-Fi, World Cup hosted. CPT cup, you can't sugarcoat it. But put the W up, we West Coasted. I get chauffeured, we toasted and posted a team photo. As I say, cheese moment, extreme focus. Cause we achieved only what they say we can't. The seed that I put in the ground became a plant. Watching in amazement, I had them in a trance. Ramadan, things take time, going fast in a whole other class on my own. Flew to the stars in a drone like a sci-fi starting. The rock goes alone at the cinema. Blockbuster cream like never, yeah, I get it every minute. Cause I can't wait for you to come back. So that we can chill till the sunrise. Oh, I can't wait for you to come back. So that we can chill till the sunrise. I can't wait till we all go up to the light. As I say, please don't go up. Yeah, we make it look. Yes, they all know us. And the joy is too full. I'm gonna build my own club. You know what? Can't wait. Sometimes I'm impatient, but I still manage to rise to occasions. And when you ask whose grind is the greatest, I just say yes, I like Jamaicans. Things do Take time, no replacement. So you better be on time, never vacant. I'm always in the kitchen like I'm baking, but not bacon. You get served, no apron. Let's brew like Assalamu alaikum. Everybody loves CPT like Hayden. I am just an icon living like Jada. Fresh Prince, Nike Airs, high top faded. Freestyle verses are praised for their cadence. Straight from the dome, no plans or arrangement. I hope you don't have any prior engagements. I'm tired of waiting, cause I can't wait. So that we can chill till the sunrise. I can't wait for you to come back. So that we can chill till the sunrise.
Youngster CPT, JMJ something. And this one's called Oh, I Can't Wait. And I know I've been talking about these guys, and you can't wait. They run. How you doing, guys?
Hi, welcome to the show.
You know what? Thanks for welcoming me to my own show. I've been here since 6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm good, and yourself?
Okay, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
I'm Garth. Yeah. We here, baby.
And I'm Gareth.
How are you guys this morning?
Waking up.
Waking up?
Yeah.
Are you morning people?
No, not at all. Especially not in lockdown.
What time do you normally wake up?
Around 2, 3 in the afternoon during lockdown, and then you still have to work. So yeah, you work from home. So.
Oh, you work from home?
Yeah.
Nah, what kind of discipline is that?
It's really hard to keep track of time.
But then you work like late hours in.
So what time is lunch?
Lunch? No, lunch is whenever you're hungry. Basically.
Do you know what? Like during lockdown, right?
Yeah.
I love asking this question because I know what my answer would be. But like, if your fridge could talk, right? Mm-hmm. What would it say to you when it sees you?
I'm fuller than usual.
Yeah. My fridge would say no entry.
But it would be like, not you again.
Yeah. Because usually when things were back to normal, I at least shop on a day-to-day basis. So
okay.
I buy what I need. You like it fresh and things like that. But now during lockdown, people are stocking up, and I just seem to have more things in my fridge than I usually do.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, because you can't go out that often, can you? Again, getting your essentials makes no sense.
And everyone in the malls are quite packed. And what I actually notice is at the malls, people are dressed like they go into clubs. Like I told Garth yesterday, it looks like a club inside there. Everyone's they dress to the T.
I think I told you this in the lift. Yeah. I told you you can see people don't come out that often anymore because now they're wearing the club close to the mall. It's like...
It's a special occasion.
Yeah.
Do you know? Seriously. Okay, so let's just talk about the podcast, right?
Okay. Wait, before we get started, you know how some people say you speak what am I looking for the saying? You speak your words into reality, no?
Yes, you speak your words into reality. You said it earlier.
Yeah.
We come bearing gifts.
These
gifts. We come bearing this one for you and one for your...
Oh, a gift. Thank you so much.
You want to open it up?
Yes.
And you want to see what it says?
I just want to say, right, I'm going to warn you, I am petrified of snakes. If it's anything like that, I will faint. And therefore, the show will be over. So, just let me know. Are we safe in that aspect?
Okay, no.
Sure.
With all those buttons here, we don't know what one to press. So.
You'll have to take over. Oh, this is beautiful, ladies and gentlemen of the West Coast. These guys come bearing gifts. Okay, I'll tell you what,
that
right?
One's yours,
you have
the one with the black.
This one's
printed.
mine.
Yeah.
Okay, it says, how did you know my size? Amazing.
Yeah.
Extra small, definitely.
The information
okay, so
leaked.
this one says, I'm not intoxicated, I'm elevated. There's no way I could be intoxicated under lockdown. Where would I get the items to do that?
That's the irony.
Beautiful. Okay, and then the other one.
It's the same.
It's the same. It's just printed in red.
Okay. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a big one. That goes that way.
Okay. This one goes to Mary. Mary is our social media manager who does all of the lovely, lovely pictures that you see on our Facebook page. There she is. She's got a beautiful big smile on her face. Thank you so much, guys.
Those are printed by one of our podcast sponsors.
Okay, so can we just talk about the sponsor? Thank you, sponsor, Mr. Sponsor Man.
Mr.
SOS Screen Printers, Spiwe and Thuli.
Screen printers and signs of late. So
Ah.
they print signs and T-shirts. They print on a lot of different things.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So they print on anything.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
On mugs,
Yeah.
masks. Have they got like special masks out
yeah.
there?
What was that he said?
Yeah.
Essential printing also.
Oh, this.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get it. That's a completely separate, rather frustrating topic. All this, like lockdown rules that don't make sense. I mean, on one of our podcasts, we solved the lockdown dilemma in like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Shall we get
Bar
into
that,
that?
bar that we weren't like the most sober, but we solved the problem, and now we're looking back at it like, you know what? Now we're just watching the consequences of not implementing what.
What
we-
is this problem
what we
that you
got
solved?
planned.
Basically, it's going to be too long to explain and to go through everything for this station for the time
Yeah.
we're on here.
Yeah.
So I think we should do it afterward and explain
But
it to you.
I just ring the bell now that, you know, the frustrations that
Yeah.
we had and all of these things. So for example, like now during lockdown, not a lot of businesses are open.
Yeah.
So like one of the like weird rules was like he's allowed to print, but only like COVID signs.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
hilarious. Because your workshop is open.
Yeah.
Surely you should print whatever you want.
Anything. Yeah.
But
And
now it's not essential, so.
But you know what? Printing is essential. I'll tell you what. Just from our admin and some of the things that we need to function.
Yeah.
And we can't because the print services aren't there. They're essential.
Yeah.
We need them. We've got a backlog of printing
Yeah.
right now.
I'll share his details with you after the show, and then.
Thank
you
you
guys
so
can
much.
just get all the
Can I
views.
just talk about your T-shirt?
Okay. If you want to get.
You know, I don't. Do
you want to
Let me-
protest
can I
in
just-
front of the vote?
No, hang on a minute. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, don't shoot the messenger. Before I say,
You're going
right?
to start the protest in front of the station.
So, your T-shirt says, Mom said no girls from ... a certain area in the West Coast. You are banned.
I'm sure people can.
You are
guess by
banned
now.
from this. You're banned from interacting
Yeah.
with these females from this area in the West Coast. Why? Because why?
Are you asking?
I am.
Listen, I'm not from the West Coast originally. I'm from Cape Town. I got you this, just the advice I followed. But at the same time, like, I mean, now with the printing and everything, most of my t-shirts are like either controversial or things like, I have a t-shirt that says men don't cheat. And the reactions is hilarious. So I don't think I do it for the attention, but definitely I do play devil's advocate a lot.
Sure. You know, I can't say you are not seeking attention with that slogan.
Gareth literally, he tried to make me wear a t-shirt like that.
Yeah,
And you were like, no.
No.
yeah,
No.
I can't do that because I'm from Vredenburg.
But
right.
I think the residency, what is a residential policy or whatever, of like 5 years, and I've been here for about the time, so I do
So
consider
basically
myself.
he's a resident, yeah.
You are now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
legit.
this is what happens. What's it called? You can't say you're an incomer.
Yeah.
Incomer anymore. No, you're not. You're part of the West Coast now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm on the radio, right?
Oh, and you're and you know, like once you're on Radio West Coast, that's it. You're in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So apart from the podcasting, what do you guys get up to?
Do you? Okay, you can go
No,
first.
like during lockdown, we're only doing the podcast. And otherwise, we just like
Do you like want to know what we do?
what
on
we
a-
do for
like a-
fun
like
or
a
what we
day-to-day?
get up to on day to day.
Yes.
What we get up to day to day. We just sit and chill.
All day.
He doesn't do much during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I try and keep busy. You know, exercise and I play
you keep
rugby.
fit?
Yeah, I play rugby
Uh-huh.
and work during the day. And most of the time, I'm either playing rugby or
But how have you been playing rugby over lockdown?
jamming. No, not now.
No,
during
no,
lockdown,
not during lockdown.
But in normal circumstances.
Yeah, but
But
now-
now during lockdown, there's not much to do. I do my work during the day,
Yeah.
and then
Are you,
we
you're
do a
working
lot of
from-
gaming.
So
You're
yeah,
working
so
from home.
basically it's just working from home, gaming. That's just chilling.
Yeah, and doing the podcast and listening to other podcasts.
Yeah. Listening to other podcasts, doing market research. Understand?
Scanning out the competition.
No.
No.
We're not scanning competition because we don't know how many podcasts are in South Africa. We're watching from professionals.
Yeah, by the way, we claim to be the first podcast on the West Coast, but our show's not based on facts, so we don't really know. But
Okay,
until proven
otherwise,
Yeah.
we shall go with you are the first podcast in the West Coast.
I like to think so, yeah.
Brilliant.
We don't fall under the SABC.
No. And you shouldn't though.
And it's
Nah.
not
You
for the
shouldn't- you should-
faint-hearted either.
Is it not?
Yeah. Vat the chill pill.
See, but every single topic that I brought up so far, you've said no, we can't talk about that. It's too long. We've got too much to say about that. You can't summarize anything.
Okay, you mean the whole lockdown situation?
Yeah.
If I had to summarize it, this is what I'll say. It's a bit too long to speak about because there's a lot of subtle details to it. But essentially, what brought up the idea was that we don't necessarily agree, and the discussion went about not agreeing generally with policymakers and decision makers. We can only empathize with the fact that they have to make a decision, but a lot of the time it's not based on fact. So what happens is, I'm an engineer by day, right? So day to day, if I make a decision, there's a reason for that. And the reason that there should be is because when you sort of take away that parameter, there's a reason for taking it away. So we went into lockdown basically with no parameters in place to relieve the matter. So after 21 days, there's nothing that from the beginning said, because we went into lockdown for these reasons, and these are the reasons we will come out of lockdown. Now we're sitting here with level stage 1, 2, 3, 4. I bet they were sitting around the table just going, yeah, so what do we do now?
So should we let
can't
them out?
just- you
Can we
can't-
let them out? No, let's
Why?
not let them out.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's-
let's have new
So-
levels.
Yeah. So now there's this whole stages and things, and it's just all over the place, and the rules don't make sense. It's crazy, man.
Okay, well, this was not anticipated, right? It
No.
wasn't, and I get
No,
where
no.
you're coming from.
Yeah.
It wasn't anticipated. There are no parameters. There's nothing to measure
Yeah.
it. Then there's nothing to compare,
Yeah.
right? So
There's
it's
nothing to
pretty much
compare
let's
to.
make the rules as we go.
So when do we know
Yeah.
when we win?
But what's cool is at least not cool, but and this is not taking away from anyone who's been affected by this virus, right? It's just that we get to see how other states and other countries do things, and then we can sort of copycat that idea or apply it in South Africa.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. But I think we jumped on the bandwagon without, especially when, like you say, we don't know much about it. I would prefer just basing your decisions on something that we understand a little bit at least. Understand?
Okay, today, right? News has come out that alcohol will be back on sale again, right? Probably before the end of this month.
Okay.
But there is a regulation. Okay?
What?
You can only buy alcohol according to your surname, right?
That sounds like
Alphabetically.
I'll start first.
hey,
Oh, since when?
is this legit? Is this legit
Are you
news?
going to Home Office right now to change your name?
No. My
this
surname
legit
starts
news?
with
So
an A,
far,
so-
so far it is legit.
That doesn't.
It
okay.
hasn't it's a discussion. And like everything, with regards to the regulations, a few weeks ago, the cigarette ban had been removed, then it was put back on again. So it's not written in stone yet, but it is at the moment so far what's being put through as the way things will happen once alcohol sales start.
So how will this work if you go into a bottle store then?
Yeah,
Will they call you up? Will they phone you?
there'll be a roll call.
You go there and you leave your name and number and you go home and just wait for the call.
Perhaps time slots or something.
To be honest with you, I'm absolutely not sure about how that's going to roll out. At the moment, it's just according to your surnames and, obviously, and they're saying what's likely to happen is they're going to go through
I
from
figured
A
it out.
to M.
So you'll come into the store, right? Say, no, sorry, Apollos, your family was here already. We know you guys have a problem.
We know where the problem lies.
You're not allowed. The surname is banned now.
This family's banned. But there's so many people with the same surname.
No, but colored people. All our surnames are the same, but spelled differently.
Ja. Die meen net 1 P in. Die hou net 2 P's.
So yeah, that's one of the regulations that's baffling me at the moment as to how that's going to happen.
I've never heard of this, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, this came out today.
Okay.
Yeah, this is news today.
Do you see what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, Garth went to sorry, but went to the mall the other day. Am I allowed to mention the store's name? I mean, that's what happened. Not,
Yeah.
I don't know, did something terrible happen? Because we don't want them to be angry with us.
No. Basically, I wanted to buy a biltong maker, man. Because I'm bored. I want to make some so I can buy meat and make some biltong, man.
Uh-huh.
At least for some chilling and that. And then I'm safe from this virus. I don't have to go out and buy a biltong. I can make it at home. But yeah, and then when I got to the toy, I had the thing in my hand, and then the cashier told me like, "Sorry, sir, this is not essential." And then, okay, I understand the essential part of it if you're saying that it's essential, but I had it in my hand already. You understand?
But you had to put it back because it's
why
a
would you
health
come take
risk
it and put it
or
back?
something like that.
As if it's a health risk.
You
I
understand?
mean, it's not essential. But, I mean, does that add up to you? The fact that you have the item in your hand, like, if you're in the store, you should be able to buy whatever you want in the store.
Did you have to jump over the
There was
barrier?
no
there was no
thing.
barrier in front of that.
Okay, well,
You understand? So I took it from the shelf. There was no barrier. I saw the barriers other places, but there was no barrier there, and I took it from the shelf. And I mean, I already have it in my hand. You're gonna take it from my hand and tell me
You
that
can't
I
buy
can't buy
it.
it because I already have it here.
Let's explain to
and
me.
biltong and make it exactly.
So yeah, it's just our rules are made. And
But the biltong is for sale, right? It's
Yeah.
considered an essential item,
yeah, but basically
You can buy.
You can't make your own biltong like that.
but you can't make your own. You must leave
You
the house.
You have to leave your house and go buy biltong.
Yeah.
You know, this makes me think of like all the what other skills have you gained over lockdown because of all this time that you have?
I wouldn't say, I don't know. For me, at least, I haven't been very productive in that department, but I've definitely, I would say I've gotten better at certain things.
Okay,
Yeah.
what have you improved on?
Getting good sleep.
Yeah, and
No, I'm
also-
serious. Like, when on a regular basis, I don't get enough sleep, I think. And you have a lot of time to, like, do some introspection and do some,
I know.
self, like, just looking,
doing
Just
yoga.
looking
Like,
at, like, trying to
stretching
improve
your life.
this is what, actually, maybe I should say this. I think what has become very important to me of late is just spiritual well-being, like feeling really good on the inside. And I
Yeah.
think it's part of actually why we do the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, being at home, you get to look at a lot of different aspects of your own life that you can improve on.
Yeah.
And you sort of, things that you can implement when things go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely want to get more rest. I definitely want to take time to speak to the people that's important to me. you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And what actually happened is last year sometime, I realized that my health wasn't the best. I'm on high blood pressure, medication, chronic, and to a lot of people that might not mean much, but if you're 28 years old, like, you shouldn't be thinking about this, and it messes with your psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I've emphasized a lot of things of late on doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
So I've, like, enrolled into university again.
Okay.
I started the podcast with Garth.
Yeah.
And I made it my duty to travel at least once a year.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, things that just,
Just
bring
stuff
you
that-
some inner peace. And I mean, I have legit anxiety too, and there's a lot of other things. And the thing is more because I've tried so many different things in the past, like exercising harder, eating better. Like, I went vegetarian for like a year. I went back to meat because I couldn't handle that.
Bacon.
But,
It's bacon.
yeah.
that's-
Bacon was the worst.
We'll stop visiting Gareth and as it comes to supper time, it's like, but I think I have to go.
Because I have this big
I
steak
think I'm leaving.
that I want to
Yeah,
make.
yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. So a lot of these things has to do with it. And I think lockdown just emphasizes the importance of that, because I think now when all these things get taken away from you so quickly, you realize what's important. You're lucky to have a job. You're lucky to have at least a stable financial situation. You're lucky to have friends that are important, because now you're going to see who's going to text you and say, hey,
how you doing? Who's going to check up on you?
Are you doing well? Especially when you're living alone, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so basically, what's with me again? I've learned to be more productive, and I've learned like how to use my time efficiently, because remember, you're working during lockdown. You're managing your own time.
Yeah.
So you learn your own how to be productive. That's it. And I become more appreciative of things in my life.
Yeah.
Understand? So basically, it's your work, the loved ones, your assets. Understand?
Yeah.
So it's because you see how people lose their jobs, people lose their houses. It's a difficult, tough times. So we're actually lucky to
have that.
Have all of those.
I find that very interesting, guys, because you just told me, right, that you wake up at 2 p.m. every day. And so I'm wondering how you're getting more sleep, but what is that doing to your clock? We'll talk about that straight after this.
Purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people. Roll up at the after joint, dancing on the people. People dancing on the people. I got people on the people. People dancing on the people with the people on the people. Smoking CO2, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the dancing on the people. I got people. People dancing on the people. I got
everybody in the booth can tell myself apart from you.
Dancing on the people. I got people. Dancing on the people, at the after joint, dancing on the people, people dancing on the people. I got people on the people, people dancing on the people with the people on the people. Smoking CO2, see you dancing on the people. Climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people. My hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the people, dancing on the people. I got dancing people. I got people. People. Dancing on the people.
Everybody in the booth can tell myself apart from you. Now the word dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing, people, dancing,
dancing on the people. I got
Sophie Tucker with Purple Hat. You tune into Radio West Coast 92.3 FM. It's the breakfast show, and I've got Garth and Gareth in the building. Guys, okay, so we're talking about you guys working from home, like a lot of people under lockdown are doing. How are you coping with the discipline of it? Because, okay, we're talking about how you said you wake up at 2 in the afternoon. So when does work get done?
Yeah, basically, if you start working later, you just work later. So there's no... as long as you get the work done and your time in.
So your internal clock. So you're nocturnal now, are you? Your internal clock has completely changed. You sleep during the day and you're up at night.
I definitely know if I go back to work, it's going to be an adjustment. And I think it started like with in the beginning phase of lockdown, we had to do our essential shopping at like a certain time. So we had to like adjust our time a bit, maybe by an hour or two in the morning, either to get things done that we needed, and then the rest of the day you can work. So then just continued from there. So like sometimes I'll wake up and fall back asleep, which is cool when you're working from home, but at the same time, I don't feel we're as productive in any case when like 24/7, like for the duration of being at work. So at least for me, I feel like I peak certain times of the day.
Oh, so you work
So at least now I get to work at my own pace, whether that's taking my time to figure things out, solve problems, and just take the time that's required to get things done properly. I think I've been a bit more productive with my time that I've spent at work, because when you set your time aside, it's work time. It's not, I need to check emails, I need to do this. You can be productive. But at least working from home shows that, one, it can be done in a lot of instances without all the interaction and, in my case, a lot of meetings and things like that. That the feedback is important, but it just at least shows that it can be done. And I think a lot of companies are going to be looking at that and going, you know what, we might not need everybody back in the building.
Exactly.
And basically when I'm still on standby as well, so I go out for calls, for emergency calls. I've been to work last night.
Were you?
As well, yeah.
Oh, shame. And then you had to wake up early.
So basically, you get called any time of day.
Yeah. So
Right.
I think he gets justified because he has to sometimes work at odd hours of the morning.
Yeah.
So at least he'd be awake.
Yeah. So I'm working from home as well, and then also I get calls to go to work.
You're on standby 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like for 2 weeks at a time.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of, was it shift work before lockdown?
No.
Okay, you had
Monday
set
to Friday.
hours.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking maybe it's not that different anyway if you had shift work, because maybe then depending on your shift you'd sleep at a certain time and wake up at a certain time.
Yeah. I actually told someone yesterday that during lockdown it actually feels that you're doing a lot more
Than normal.
Yeah. Because basically you're working constantly at home, and then also.
And I think he illustrates the point even better. Like when he gets a call out, it's work time.
Yeah.
And he has that time to do the work.
Yeah.
So he gets things done. He's not going to work and then sitting around and
Waiting
thinking
for a
about
call
what
out.
am I
Actually
going
go
to
to
do
work
next,
for work.
and
Yeah.
planning your day for an hour and then doing it. It's like, okay, now it's work time, and you get that done.
Where are you doing your work? Where do you have a designated area that makes you feel like when I sit here, this is my workspace, and I'm in, and I've got my work head on, and I'm doing my work? Or are you sitting in front of the TV?
No. Basically, you have your setup, your office setup.
Yeah.
For your work.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a setup.
Yeah. Same here. My computer desk is now my workstation.
And everyone at home knows when you sit there, that's it. They don't disturb you.
There's no one.
There's no one.
Yeah.
You live by yourselves.
Yeah.
Isolation. Isolated in isolation.
I think it's actually better.
Really?
I live
think
alone.
I-
Gareth live alone. So
All by yourselves.
Yeah.
All by yourselves.
I mean, I miss my family, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd be able to handle being home now for this long. With
with
everyone,
everyone in the house.
All the personalities that you have to get used to again.
And those elephants that need to be addressed in the room that turn from white to purple to green to
Yeah.
grey.
It's already weird just going home these days because you're not sure. I don't know. I've been away from home for some time now, but every time I visit my parents, you're sort of adjusting again. You're like, okay, does all the house rules apply the same as when it used to? You're like,
The world has changed. So therefore, the house rules must have changed.
But what I've done is my mother's live alone, right?
Yeah.
What I've done is I have my setup my mother.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you get up, you get dressed, wash your dress. It's like you're going to work. you understand? So you go to my mother because I'm working from home.
Okay. So she's not far from you then?
Yeah, she's on the other side of town. She's not, I live in this side of town, she lives a bit further in.
Oh, right. Okay. So you've got to travel a bit. It's not walking distance and such.
I'm not working.
But that makes you feel more like you are actually going to work.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, well, I've had to work right throughout lockdown, so I don't know what it's like not to have loads of time. I mean, I do think if I had time and I was going through lockdown like everyone else, I try to think of what skill I'd have learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have one that you think, well, okay, we know you wanted to make biltong.
I wanted to make biltong, but I've learned some productivity skills, how to use my time wisely.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to share?
Basically, it's just a mindset thing.
Mind over matter.
Yes.
Don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
For me, we had to cook a lot now during lockdown because for a lot of time there wasn't like takeaways and things.
Is that how you survived before?
Most of the time it's difficult to cook for one person. We
I
sometimes
know what
have
you
supper
mean.
together.
That's
and
where we
hang
have
out.
supper together sometimes.
Yeah, like you can't buy like a whole tomato for one sandwich and then you leave the rest of it. I mean, I've had things get old in my house I didn't know can get old.
Like what? Like what?
I'm serious.
Like a shoe.
Like flour. Like I didn't know flour could get old. I had to clear out my spices.
spice.
My spices got expired.
What did you think they just go, they last forever?
I mean, it's spice. You just...
But some of my eggs also expired.
That's bad. That's bad.
Eggs expire too, guys. Seriously. Okay, so basically,
So I've been
you're
basically
bachelors.
but now my skill is now I've been cooking a lot, so I've definitely got my chef on more often than not.
So what can you make now that you couldn't make before?
What? I mean, I try things.
Oh, you must see Gareth when he make a dagood or a sandwich or something. It looks like something coming from a gourmet chef.
Wow. So you make really good sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, and then
I mean, I enjoyed cooking. I wanted to become a chef one day.
Gareth
Initially, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was my ambition.
Oh, okay. But so
Yeah,
you
and
do
then
actually really cook like really good meals then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I realized I had a brain, and then I went into engineering. But I thought I could maybe just do chef as like a thing for myself, and maybe for someone one day.
Garth, do you cook?
I can bake.
No way, really? Like what can you bake?
Oh yes, Garth bakes really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
It's
bread
legit.
and stuff like that?
Like
Cheesecake.
like cakes and stuff.
Amazing.
His cheesecake is
And you
legit.
ice them and everything to make them look pretty.
Like-
His
I was
cheesecake is
glad about
legit.
it
He
for his
made it.
birthday.
My birthday was during lockdown, and he made me a cheesecake. His cheesecakes are legit good, and I like to tease him because he gets very competitive about his baking too. So like, if I'm in Pick and Pay, I'll just be like, or I'm in the store, or wherever, I'll just be like, oh, this cheesecake looks delicious, and he'll be like, no, that's not real fruit.
I know how to make a better cheesecake.
Because I like to use fresh fruit.
Oh, yes,
My
obviously.
cheesecake,
Yes.
And now during lockdown, we don't get any fresh berries. That's how I realized we don't get any fresh berries, and it's frustrating. So I have to use frozen berries. So yeah,
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Your food's not coming out right.
Yeah, that's not the way I want it.
You have because you have the best relationship, right? You don't cook, he cooks, and he wants to make fresh food, and you want to keep fit.
And he doesn't want to exercise.
And you don't want to exercise.
Yeah, but I did the
does,
park
he
run a
does.
few times before lockdown.
How many Ks?
5K park
Not
runs.
bad. Not
Every
bad.
Saturday morning.
Every Saturday morning.
No,
No, I
you see,
didn't
this
go
is
every
what
Saturday
happens. This is how things work in our house.
Yeah.
Right, I was saying our house. But like when we do the podcast and things like that, we just look, it's therapy on one, but at the same time, we just think up the weirdest things. And so we had an actual challenge that we did. We were just talking, and I was like, bruh, like I can do a park run. It's 5Ks. And I got so competitive to the point we were like, okay, let's have a challenge and train for 2 weeks and do the park run. And I wanted to come in like the top 10 of the park run.
Yeah.
And he had his own goal. So we
You
went,
wanted to finish.
yeah.
At least.
So we went from never doing a park run to like trying to win this thing.
Also, what happened? Did it happen?
No, I failed to the miserably.
In the top 30?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Why are you in the top 30?
But I
How
was
many?
like
that wasn't the.
114.
Yeah.
Not bad. You finished.
Yeah, and then the next time I went, it was 104th.
Yeah.
And then you did it again and again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by this.
We
So,
actually went one night also, or like evening after work.
Yeah, yeah.
We went one evening and we ran the whole.
Trail, like
Trail.
just as like training.
yeah.
We legit trained for 2 weeks.
Did you?
From
And
never
you
doing
did
a
the
park run
5Ks
ever to like doing the 5K.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's
2 weeks.
commendable. I salute you because I cannot run. I want to, but phew, It's hard work. So I have the utmost respect for people that run, because you get to that point where your body says no. and then now it's the brain, it's your mind that has to push you after that.
So embarrassing you say that, and it's the truth, because there's nothing worse than running. And I mean, I don't know, how competitive are you from a scale of 1 to 10? 10. Like, I want to do it. This is why, good. And I disappoint myself, and I get very, very disappointed when I can't finish it. I start off and I want to run, and then after like a K, I'm like huffing and puffing. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to die. So I'm the same. And then what happened is we started up, it started well, and it just went on a steady decline. Yeah. And it got to the point where, I mean, old people do the park run, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of old people. And you'd expect, I mean, a young guy to be, doing this well. And there's nothing worse than having the oldest person you've ever seen run past you.
And you're like, I can't do this anymore.
You can't. Like, you're pushing, and there's kids running past you, like, for fun.
It was funny for me. I'm running, and these two kids, they run past me. They play. And I'm running, I'm huffing and puffing past them. And then after a while, they pass me again, and they play in front of me again.
It's a bit of a game now. Okay, let's just play something by Jessie Ware. And it won't play because the computer says no. It's very strange. Sometimes. And it's a Monday morning as well. But tell you what, it's going to be a great day.
Yep.
Say you love me to my face. I'm needing more than your embrace. Just say you want me. That's all it takes. Heart's getting torn from your mistakes. 'Cause I don't wanna fall in love if you don't wanna try. But all I've been thinking of is maybe that you might just say you love me just for today. And don't give me time, 'cause that's not the same. Want to feel burning flames when you say my name. I want to feel passion flow into my bones, like blood through my veins. 'Cause I don't wanna fall in love if you don't wanna try. But all I've been thinking of is maybe that you might. I don't wanna fall in love. No. You don't wanna try. 'Cause try sometime. All I've been thinking of, I just think maybe that you might. You might. 'Cause I don't wanna fall in love if you don't wanna try. But all I've been thinking of is maybe that you might. she from Dubai. You think she can give you so much more. My heart shattered the first time you lied about her. You said you don't love her. Now you just don't know. Dia mama, anita wunitan, anita wunibo, anita wunishoni. Ilula lendaba, ilula lendaba. Espectacular ruler, dia mama, anita wunitan, anita wunibo, anita wunishoni. Your time is up. Style I got the baby. I'm gonna find me a real man. In my me. I'm too precious to play seconds. Don't play yourself. One thing we find out. One thing we find don't go by me. I'm my own woman. I don't need the drama. Don't even get me started. Cause I'm too precious to play seconds. Don't play yourself. Upengo fan bandi yazi. Ilula lendaba. Ilula lendaba. Rula, dia mama, anita wunitan, anita wunibon, anita wunishoni. Rula lendaba,
Just having a really, really good time with Garth and Gareth on 92.3 FM on The Breakfast Show. And we just played you Ilula by Tabsi, and she's just saying it's simple. Istri rula. Simple things. Okay, so while the song was playing, we were talking about all of these challenges, and how you can't take a day, right?
Not so much can't take a day, just like when you're like if certain people are competitive, others more, some more than others, right? And sometimes when you're competitive, what happens is like you end up being so competitive that you will sort of talk yourself into a challenge that you never thought would ever happen, and then you end up doing the craziest things in life.
And just now you told me about the craziest one, right?
No, you asked what the craziest one. That's what I could think of. There's a few to choose
Is
from.
there?
Yeah,
okay,
like,
but I still think running from Saldanha to Friedenberg and back for how much? What was the day?
it was like, listen,
bet you 600 rand. For 600 rand.
It wasn't about the money, okay? It was about the challenge. And what happened was, like, to be fair, like, I was gaining a bit of weight.
Okay.
At the time. And I'm very insecure about my weight sometimes. Like, if Garth says, you're getting a belly, dude. And I'll be like, yeah, dude, come on.
I've got to hit the gym.
Next thing you know, I'm in the gym.
Okay.
5 days a week. Like, do you know what I mean? So I was like, what do you mean I'm sluggish? I mean, I've got heels for days. Like, I still got the gas. And then, one thing leads to another. And next thing you know, I was like, dude, I could run from here to Friedenberg and back in under 2 hours. And it's like, nah, make it 1 hour 45. I'm like, bet. Let's do it. How much?
Who is this cruel person who cut the time?
600 rand. No training, nothing. Let's just do it after work on a weekday. And
today. And you're like, we'll do it today.
It was the evening. These things happen at night. these thoughts. And then you had to drive behind me, and
Garth drove behind you.
no, another friend of mine.
That
Yeah.
was me. That
Okay.
was me.
All right.
I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. I was
And-
just like, let's go to.
And what I didn't,
Let's go to KFC. Let's go.
and then what I didn't realize is how much equipment runners actually use.
All right.
I mean, like, I had a shorts and t-shirt and all of that, but I ran for 2 hours, and the sun sets in the West Coast quite early after like 5 o'clock or something, and I ended up running into the dark, and people have reflectors and
And you didn't have
lights and all these things, and I have this
You were not
car
prepared.
behind me. I was like, dude, this is the scariest thing. Having cars just drive past you. And, yeah.
So what did you do with the money?
Um,
Did you spend it wisely?
I think I did. I can't remember what I did with it.
Buy some running
So
equipment.
it's just like I wanted to buy a pair of yes, that's how it came up. I'm very cheap by nature. So I didn't.
Let's not call you cheap. Shall we
No,
call
I
you
mean,
miserly?
Excuse me?
Miserly.
Yeah, the guy who who decided to camp in his own house.
Listen. Like, I don't like
I have a
spending
3-bedroom tent,
I
like
don't
you
like
said.
spending money on unnecessary things. So I have enough jeans as I need to wear. I have enough sneakers as I need to wear.
Okay.
And that's how I started.
This
Like,
makes me want to say how many. But anyway.
I have one for this purpose, one for that purpose.
Okay,
Like
2.
that. So it was like, you need running shoes. I'm like, I don't. It's like, dude. And then we started, it's like, yeah, you're getting fat. You haven't run in a while. And then it escalated.
started from there.
Yeah.
Garth.
Nope. There was one time Gareth told me like, let's run from the mall home. I'm like, I'm gonna drop you there. And then
And I'll drive.
And I'll drive. And literally I dropped him by the mall and I drove behind him, and then I stopped at the point and he passed me, and it's like I'm supporting you. Don't worry.
But that
You'll
was
get there.
My heart is with you, bruv.
But when it comes to the park run, it's like, I'm proactive.
So what is the weirdest thing that you've done? You don't do weird things.
Garth was a rebel back in the day.
I don't get involved in weird things.
You used to party hard, but I think
But
he's
that was
matured.
back in my student days.
Garth is old now.
Okay, but okay. What? Okay, so let's not talk about the weirdest thing. Let's just talk about the weirdest thing you've had to eat. Okay, because you're a foodie, right?
The weirdest thing is tripe. I can't.
Tripe is not weird.
I
That's
can't.
normal. Come
I
on.
can't. No, it's not normal. For me, it's not normal. I can't get tripe down my throat. It's like I can go to the lip.
And you don't chew it.
No. I can't put my teeth in it.
Okay. Well, let's just go on and play a song, and then when we come back, we're just having a bit of a natter with Garth and Gareth. And if you want to join in, please do send us a message on our WhatsApp line, 92.3 FM. It's 064 773 0660.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. You're the key natural woman. You make me feel. You make me feel. You make me feel like a natural woman. You make me feel.
Sounds of Aretha Franklin. I really wish we'd gone live on this. There's some belting and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you do karaoke?
No.
You should. You've got all the actions. You've got all the actions.
If you don't know what you're doing, you just grab
Yeah. You
the
just
air and
grab. You turn
And-
bring close. Yeah.
And that means you're just about to hit a note.
Yeah.
You know,
And you just like come close and
to the mic and you grab the mic with both
yeah.
hands.
But the sound that comes out, it's not. It doesn't justify the actions.
But it's all about the visual. though.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah. You-
I think if you're good at karaoke, that's the worst. If you're good at karaoke, that means this is not where we want to find out you have emotional turmoil. Like, when it's karaoke and all of a sudden everyone's crying. Or you're crying, singing, and everyone's having a good time.
I tell you what, you do.
Just zone out. Just zone out. And you have the whole crowd just looking at you.
It's an excuse to sing badly in front of people.
That's
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it's fun.
That's the fun of it.
But when someone's good, don't the people who can't sing this like, come on.
When,
Why not
you know
do
what?
we
You
do
can't
karaoke?
really be very good and do karaoke because then it's like showing off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
This is a guy who didn't make idols. Now he wants to express his talents.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why not we did the karaoke? The two of us.
Where?
At your house.
And you don't.
Oh, yeah. That's house karaoke. That's
There's
not
house
lounge.
karaoke.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter though. Karaoke is karaoke.
And it's just it's just crazy. You hear the sounds coming out. There's like people being murdered in there.
Like a cat being skinned.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, it sounds good to me in my head. I'm gonna sing it like I'm hearing it in my head.
Yes, yes.
You know, yeah. And then you're all gonna join along. You will enjoy the visuals. Yeah, it'll be like I'm on stage.
It's like wearing a bad outfit and people telling you look bad, and you're like, I don't see it.
Yeah. Say what you want.
It's like, this is for your visual, not mine. Sorry for hurting your eyes, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I feel like I look good. I know. You know, so like I just wanted to get back into a bit about your podcast, right? So do you sometimes go around watching what people do and then you talk about them?
How do you mean
It happened before.
in?
You know, like you're walking around and then you see weird things, or you know, like something, and then you're like, "Ooh, we are still gonna talk about this tonight."
No, it happened before. It was when that thing that came out that Ihu biale polisie, nah, and then me and Gareth went Pick and Pay, and it was actually on our podcast, and then this lady, me and Gareth were at the dairy section, and then this lady was on the phone, and she's like, the police. Yeah. And then she looked up at her husband, and me and Gareth were looking at this like, too soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. It's like, this is the exact same picture.
But I think to that point, there's no look. The podcast is somewhat of an outlet. I think I explained a bit earlier that it's ironic because in our day-to-day lives, we're very introverted people. Like, we don't have social media. I don't have a social media presence. No Facebook, Instagram, none of that. Like, we just have a YouTube channel. And the podcast became somewhat what we realized. Like, when we just have a long-form conversation where we get to express our thoughts properly over a long period of time with, like, no interruptions, no structure.
Yeah.
As friends, when we talk about things, it's like week to week, just an update on
Life.
just on life. And when we do that, it's like, it's somewhat therapeutic for you. Afterwards, you're like, that was actually good. It was good to get off my chest.
It feels
it's like
when you finish up and you wrap up, and then it's like you feel relief.
How long is your podcast generally?
It's about an hour,
hour?
for
An
the
hour.
most part. Yeah.
So it's pretty much putting the world to rights.
Yeah.
That's what Garth and Gareth putting the world to rights.
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like if you had a therapist, right?
Yeah.
You go in there and speak or whatever. But like we'll speak about anything, whatever we feel like, how we feel about it. Like there's no like nobody can come in and say, oh, you shouldn't say this, shouldn't do this, or whatever. Like we're just doing it, and and I would like even encourage other people, like if they really want to just try something out, because we didn't know the first thing about the podcast. We're just there, and then we realized it's just not that difficult.
And you did
You know,
it.
and now we want to get video footage, and you know we've got sponsorship now, and like it's really cool when you're doing things and we're doing it for fun. We made that very clear from the beginning. I'm not doing this to become popular. If I wanted to become popular, I'd do something completely different. I'd become an influencer or whatever, right? But like we're not doing this for views or anything like that. This is just us
outlet.
speaking. It's an
like
outlet. It's
And
therapy.
then suddenly people are actually interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, especially like when you're not like popular by nature. I won't say popular. I think what I'm trying to say, when people don't know you and then they actually get to hear you speak and like, oh,
And,
Yeah,
and
actually-
what's also nice is if we have like our life stories, like we have life stories also in between and our experiences and that, right? And you get people that can relate that you're not going alone
Yeah.
with this. It's like, it happened to me before.
Yeah.
You understand?
Like it has an impact on someone else.
and it's not always something people would even talk about. So it's like, I'm glad you said
Yeah, it's normally
Yeah.
things people don't normally talk about in a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything goes.
Yeah,
Anything.
but you see, that's how we would have talked off air in any case. So
Okay.
like you're getting just how we are
You
outside
on
of that.
you guys on
we
a plate,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And so if someone wants, how often does this happen?
Weekly for the most part.
Weekly.
Sometimes we skip a week, you know, because things get busy
Yeah.
on a day to day. But we definitely try and keep it consistent. And we actually realize if we don't publish like for like a week, then people like it takes like almost like a week to recover from that in
Yeah.
terms of just people having a look at it and
And then
stuff.
sometimes if we take too long to record, you feel a bit agitated, like, dude, we need to record.
We're missing something here.
Yeah.
It's like I have,
It's bad
I have so
vibes,
many
yeah.
things that I want to talk about, and we can understand.
Yeah.
And it's like you feel the vibe that we need an outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The therapy, like you need it.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to follow you guys and they want to listen to your podcast, well, how do they do that? Where do they find you?
They can even Google the number 2 Pipes podcast, and they'll see that our faces will pop up.
2 Pipes.
2 Pipes podcast.
How did you come up with that name?
We smoke hookah, shisha, hookah, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So our podcast is basically us smoking a pipe.
Yeah, basically,
pipes.
basically smoke 2 pipes. Once the 2 pipes are out, we're done.
While you talk.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So,
So that's how it would
That's like
normally
your
happen in
timer.
any case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome.
We might, like that's a Friday, Saturday night for you. Like smoking a pipe, having some wine. I mean, not
There's
now,
no wine.
And
so-
now there's no wine. There
That's
will be
fine.
soon, depending on your
we're
surname.
We're having coffee and
yeah.
And Roy Boy's tea.
Yes.
yeah,
Something healthy.
Something healthy.
Yeah.
some cheesecake, some
Cheesecake with
bagel
frozen
sandwiches.
berries. Please do bring some. Can we taste some of this amazing cheesecake that you are making? But I've had so much fun with you guys, and I do hope you will come back. Please don't be strangers.
No, it's a pleasure. Like, thank you for having us on the show, on
Yeah.
your show.
Thanks for inviting us.
And you know what? This is your first time on radio.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad it's with me. No. Broken today. There you go, guys. That was Garth and Gareth, and they have a podcast, 2 Pipes. If you want to Google them,
2 Pipes Podcast,
Two
the
Pipes.
number 2 Pipes Podcast, or you can email us at
2pipespodcast@gmail.com. It's the number 2pipespodcast@gmail.com.
so if anyone wants to request so a topic or something, they can email
Yeah, or
me and
even
then-
like find out some like more information about like the sponsors and things like
yeah.
that.
And the wonderful t-shirts that we got today were
Yeah.
from
SOS screen
from
printers.
SOS screen printers
and
sponsored
signs, yeah.
from SOS screen.
And what do these guys do apart from the t-shirts?
They print they do vinyl printing, large format printing. They do, they print on mugs, car lettering, vehicle
Everything.
graphic signs like these signs, emergency exit signs, alarm signs, whatever. Like they print on pretty much anything, and it's good quality stuff too. And is a good friend of mine, Mr. Spiwen Tuli, and he really is really professional about his work, and he does a good job.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I've seen it.
And-
I've printed T-shirts with
Have
him.
you? And
Yeah.
where are they based?
They're based in Vredenburg,
Marie Park,
in Marais Park at the
Opposite the
industrial
mall?
area. Yeah,
in Rubel Street.
number 22, Rubel Street, Vredenburg Industrial.
We must say thank you so much to them as well for the lovely t-shirts that we will be wearing them,
Yeah,
Mary
yeah.
and I, at some point. We will wear them and share with our listeners.
What's
and
that?
maybe they might want to give something to our listeners, and then we can always share with
Yep.
them as well
Yep.
at some
Yep.
point.
We are giving some promotional t-shirts that two of our
Yep.
listeners they expecting t-shirts now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Can our
So
listeners
they
be
just
involved in that then?
definitely. They just asked us to hook them up with T-shirts, and we arrange something like. Even if it's a discount or whatever you require, like we'll try and make a plan. I think we must actually structure that into the podcast as well, like
Awesome.
in terms of discounts and things like that from the sponsors.
All right.
Yeah, and then our other sponsor, we'll be leaving out our other sponsor, our lovely sponsor, Miss Mary Chocolate from Mary Chocolate Photography.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did she do?
Oh, she's our photographer. We don't like photos, but she's our photographer.
She takes amazing photos.
Yeah, she takes amazing photos.
Mary's one of our own as well.
She takes photos. She even takes photos for funerals. So
Everything. I know
Yeah,
she does
anything.
all events. And she manages to just like camouflage herself into the background, so you don't even notice she's there.
yeah,
You know, you just see the photos when they come out. You're like, oh my goodness, you caught this.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is good. But she's also our social media manager here at Radio West Coast. So we are very lucky to have her all the time.
Sweet.
So, like, any final words? Anything you'd like to say out to the people of West Coast, especially over lockdown right now? Something that you might, a word of encouragement.
A word of encouragement. This is tough.
stay safe and keep your social distance.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. We need to. I mean, the Western Cape is the epicenter, although the West Coast is not as bad as most other areas in the Western Cape,
Yeah.
but it is the epicenter of COVID-19 infections at the moment. So,
Yeah, I just would say then be appreciative in these times about like what you have that matters, because a lot of decisions were made where people who didn't do anything wrong had to bear the consequences of, and I got to see that somewhat firsthand, and it's affecting everybody. Just be sure that you're appreciative of what you have. For those who maybe didn't feel the impact as much, and
yeah, awesome.
Stay humble.
Oh, yeah, I knew you had. You're gonna have to fit that in. That's like your little. I have no chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.